Welcome back to Vernon Sports World. And this is my week 3, what I got right, what I got wrong, my takeaway from each game. So let's get with it. Um, First we got Detroit at Minnesota. I took Detroit with the 6. I was wrong about that. Well, I was right with the 6. So yeah, with the 6 I was good. That was a good pick with the 6. Because what I'm about to start doing is because what I had been picking every game. And that way I give y'all an opportunity, but I've been confusing some people. Somebody told me, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give y'all my for show picks. You heard me? Because I think all of them came through this week. Except, I think everybody came through that I had locked. But Detroit at Minnesota was the first one. And of course, Minnesota gave 6 points at home. Detroit got one of the most high power offense right now in the NFL. So of course I had to take Detroit with the 6. Because like I always say, anytime it's a division game, it's going to be a dog fight. Detroit somehow end up losing at the end of the game, but they did cover the 6 points, so that was good. Next, I had Baltimore and New England. I should have made a private video about this, but I think I did all the ranting and raving I can about this guy. This guy is the truth. And so I took the 3 points with New England. Mac Jones ended up getting hurt, but I ain't going to make no excuse because they lost by 11. So the 3 was no good. I had that wrong because I took New England plus 3. But I want to take a minute to talk about Lamar Jackson for a little while. Lamar Jackson might just be changing the way I think about his style of play. I mean, he going to have to at least make it to a Super Bowl first and win. Because, Cam Newton did it. Cam Newton was bigger than him. Cam Newton initiated contact. Cam Newton was just as, I don't know if we ever seen nobody as dynamic as him, but 2015, Cam Newton had an explosive season. Went to the Super Bowl and then, lost, and it haven't been the same since. So before I jump off the pavement, you know what I'm saying? But I do feel like I said in a video I made, about Lamar Jackson on this channel, strictly about him. Like, he betted on himself and doubled down. He chose to play this season without an extension. Anything can happen. He's not playing scary. He's showing that he's able to do it on the ground or in the air. He's not making a lot of mistakes. He threw 4 touchdowns Sunday, no interceptions, and 1 running touchdown for 100 plus yards. I think he in the top 10 in all rushes, and he a quarterback. He leading the league in passing touchdown. The dude is playing phenomenal football. And I'm gonna be very careful going against him in the future with or without the spread. I might start taking him, as a matter of fact, because he been doing hella good. He playing ball. He balling out of this. He balling, man. He balling. And like I say, man, Baltimore, I understand it's a business. I understand that we know this style of play is, we all seen this movie before. We seen Michael Vick. We was caught off guard. We seen Cam. We've seen it before. And it just never lasts because, this is the NFL and defensive coordinators go in and eventually put something together, to combat that, but it's like he just too explosive. Like, I don't know, he might be changing the way I feel about his style of play quarterback. Because I'm a pocket guy. But he's been playing amazing. So I got that one wrong because I took New England plus 3 and Baltimore beat them by 11. Next we have New Orleans at Panthers. I took Panthers plus 2 at home because I feel like Baker Mayfield was due for a win. Baker Mayfield and the Panthers is not a great team, but they're not bad either. They got a defense. They got a few good offensive weapons. Baker not a bum, contrary to popular belief. And New Orleans do have a defense, but Jameis Winston, I love him, but he's just not that guy. He's not that guy. You know what I'm saying? He was that guy, college, high school, but he's just not that guy. His decision making is bad. Now he can't stay healthy. They need to start trying to come up with a plan B in New Orleans. And until then, they're going to have a bad season. They will not make the playoff this year. Mark my words. So I took Panthers plus 2 for that reason. Of course, they covered. Actually, they won straight out. So I was right about that. Next, we have Houston at the Bears. The Bears was given 3 at home. And to be honest, I actually took Houston at first, but I went back and said, no, the Bears at home, they not that good offensively, but they defense is going to kind of, be able to contain Houston enough to cover 3 points. Because, 3 points, that's basically like saying a pick. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like they were going to win by at least a touchdown at least. But Houston Texans, man, have been impressing me the last couple of weeks. They have not been laying down. They have not been no pushover. They have been fighting to the finish with every single person. Not saying they played no real good team. Like they played the Colts, which is not a bad team. They played Denver, which is not a bad team. And then they played the Bears. So they played all defensive, and they can score. They can put points on the board. So I should have took them with the 3, but I just didn't feel like they were going to be able to cover. And I was wrong. The Bears beat them by 3. So the 3 that I gave, it made the ticket tie. So that means I lose. Because the Bears won by 3. Next, we have Kansas City at Indianapolis. I think that probably was the biggest upset of the week. And once again, I got it wrong because I took Kansas City, giving 5.5 to Indianapolis. But I wanted to take Indianapolis at first. I just didn't feel like that they had the firepower to match scores with Kansas City, but it's just that they due for a win. Matt Ryan is a former MVP. He's not a bum. They got Jonathan Taylor. They had some defensive players out, but I felt like that was just their week to win. But I went against that, and I said because I just don't see them going score for score with Kansas City, even though Kansas City was on the road. So I got that wrong, and Indianapolis won straight out actually. Next, we have Philly at Washington. Philly is another team that I talked about in the beginning of the season with Jalen Hurts, that if he didn't play well, that they were going to be looking for his replacement in season or in the off season. Jalen Hurts has been phenomenal on the ground, in the air, but I just didn't feel on the road at Washington that they would cover 6.5 points. I thought it would be a 3-point game, and I'm going to be honest with you, I actually thought Washington was going to win straight out because Washington ain't no bums either. But I was wrong. Philly beat them 24-8. And Jalen Hurts, he another one. Add to that narrative of Lamar Jackson. They changing my way of how I look at that type of quarterback because they've been playing amazing football on the air, in the ground, just phenomenal. Pay the man because he about to get he soon to be coming up on his contract season 2. Next, we had Buffalo and Miami. I was right about that. I took Buffalo plus 4.5 for the reason of coming off that big win. They had the momentum. Plus, they're a good team. Defensively, offensively, intangible special team, they're a good team. We know who Buffalo is. Buffalo is possibly, as I say in every week, Buffalo possibly can be in the Super Bowl. Buffalo is a great team. They had some kind of mess up at the end where I think it was a missed timeout or something happened that didn't give them the chance to at least get a field goal, which that would have won the game at that point because they was only down 2 because of a freak Miami accident where the punter kicked the ball and it hit the center's backside and it ended up going down as a safety. So, but I still took Miami with the 4.5 because I felt like the game was gonna come down to a 3-point game. At Miami on the road, they fired up from that good win last week. And I said either one or two things going to happen. It's going to be a 3-point game or Miami going to win straight out. And I was right about that. Miami won straight out, so that pick was good. Next, we have Cincinnati at the Jets. Jets was at home plus 6, but they not that good of a team. They got a veteran quarterback, Joe Flacco. I always like Joe Flacco. He's not the best, but he's a good quarterback. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's an MVP of the Super Bowl, so he's not no bum. And but I just knew Cincinnati is a good team. They defended AFC champs, and I knew they were bound. This was their week for sure. Because they 0-2, and I said this is their week because they've been losing these games that they probably shouldn't have lost. But this game, I knew that they were going to beat the brakes off Jets, so I gave up the 6. I was right about that. Next, we have Las Vegas at Tennessee. Tennessee was plus 2 at home. Tennessee is a good team, good running back, good quarterback, good defense, good offensive weapon. They've been playing bad. and they was due for a victory, I believe. I'm gonna be honest about that. But I took Vegas because I felt the same way about them. They had come off that tough loss to Cardinals that they shouldn't have lost, bad coaching. And I feel like they're a good team too. Of course, Devontae Adams, David Carr, he all right. But they got a lot of good offensive weapons, and they got a good defense. Max Crosby in them. So on the road, I gave Tennessee 2. I was wrong about that. And I'm just kind of done with Vegas for the rest of the season when it comes to with the spread. Either I'm gonna give them points but I'm not taking them more. I'm not doing the more giving point with Las Vegas because they bad coach. Derek Carr, he okay, but I just don't know about Derek Carr. And once again Vegas let me down, so I was wrong about that one. Next, we have Jacksonville versus the Chargers. Now, the Chargers was giving Jacksonville 3 points. That was kind of fishy because the Chargers is a very, very great team. They could possibly be in the AFC Championship, too. Jacksonville have been showing me some work, though. You know what I'm saying? And Trevor Lawrence, he's kind of delivering on what we expected him to deliver coming out of college. He understands the league now. He a grown man. He doing his thing. And Jacksonville in the next couple of years going to be a problem, if not sooner than we believe. And they going to get some more upsets this year in the AFC. The Chargers, Justin Herbert, I didn't know if he was going to play or not. But either way or not, with that defense they have and those offensive weapons, I still thought they could cover 3 at home. Of course, I was wrong. Jacksonville blew them out 38-10. Next, we have Atlanta at Seahawks. Seahawks was giving Atlanta 1. That's basically like a pick'em game. Atlanta have been fighting every week. They've been losing by 2 or 3 points, but they've been fighting. They've been coming back. So I just knew this was their week to finally get them a win. So, of course, I was right about that. I took Atlanta +1. Next, we have LA Rams at Arizona. Arizona, another one of those teams where I don't want to really talk about Kyler Murray. I like Kyler Murray.